When I was a little kid, I believe airplanes were the greatest invention because it was easier to travel and gets to point A to point B fairly quick. Now I'm always curious about planes crashing, delays in that flight, and will my luggage arrive to my next destination on time. There are many stipulations when it comes to traveling by plane. I wish there was another way to get to destination quick and easy, but there is. In Europe and Japan, they use high-speed bullet trains that get to the destination very easily and comfortably. It is very odd how the United States has not implanted throughout the country to be able to access different parts of the country easier. The United States should adopt the use of these high-speed trains, the bullet trains. The problems, now that we have identified the situation, I will evaluate the current complications that we have. The problems that we have. Planes. So first problem we have right now are the planes. Planes, the worry about flying. There's many people that worry about flying, either the fear of heights, the fear of crashing in the plane. Many people are always thinking about that. It's difficult for some people to fly in the planes because of their current situation. Like my dad, it's kind of difficult for him to fly because he's older and it's kind of difficult for him to get in and out of the plane. The takeoff and the landings are a little bit more difficult. The handling of the luggage, the broken or missing luggage issues that people run into, and the transportation of the luggage. So some people might have difficulties actually carrying the luggage on the planes. Carrying lots of luggage is very tedious at times. Even when you get to your next destination, people lose luggage quite a few times. I've run into that situation a lot. People have run into issues with certain airlines where their luggage comes back and it's broken. I know our luggage has happened to us before. Security issues. I know lots of people don't like the TSA. People don't like being searched thoroughly and all their luggage checked, and not having liquids on the plane. And delays are always an issue. People always run into delays, and that runs into situations with people at the airport if they're going to be picked up on time. Cars usually take too long. If you're at 100 miles, if there's a place you need to get to 100 miles away, it's a little bit more difficult to get to there. And a plane is a little too close to take a plane. So trains are a little bit easier to access. You can just go to the train station and get on there. Many other countries adopted the bullet trains. There's Europe, China, Japan, Russia, all have these, and we're kind of lagging behind these countries. Congested highways. Congested highways are another problem. So you have all the major cities in the United States, so San Diego, Philadelphia, Chicago, Boston, New York, all have these very congested highways with 5-lane highways that are always full. So if you have another mode of transportation, it'll alleviate the stress on the highways onto the trains. Population growth. Population growth kind of coincides with the congested highways. So if you have more population, the highways will get more people. So within the next 50 years, in 2050, it's possible that 100 more million people will be in the United States. So if it could alleviate the stress on the major cities and maybe on the secondary cities, it would be nice to have growth spread out. What is a possible way to solve the current traveling problems we have? Implement the high-speed trains in the United States. Now they identify the solution, but how can we solve these problems? It'll make traveling safe and easier. On trains, you can just simply carry your luggage and you have the luggage on you at all times. Safety and security. So safety, I know I'm feel more safe on a train rather than on a plane, because I feel like I'm on the ground and I feel a little more comfortable being able to move around the train. Don't have to go through security usually. You can just simply get on the train and just go to your destination without any issues. It could possibly even create more jobs. Create more jobs by having the train company in different minor cities that could move population to those smaller cities near the larger cities. We wouldn't say too far, but maybe 60 miles away from the city, because if you're 60 miles away from the city, you wouldn't want to drive 60 miles. That'll take an hour. But if you're 60 miles and take a train, a high-speed train that goes 150 to 220 miles per hour, you might want to take that into consideration and live in a city like that, because it would take maybe 20 to 30 minutes to get to your work. This theory is actually brought up by a resource written by Hewitt A. High-speed study that remote cities that will expand the growth in secondary cities. This guy named Matthew Kahn had this theory about cities, developing cities through the use of high-speed trains. High-speed trains could actually develop the secondary cities into larger cities because of high-speed trains, because people want to live in those cities rather than living in the congested highways and living in the cities outside. Could this cause bigger problems? Could this cause bigger problems? It may cost a lot of money to construct this. It is estimated to cost around $60 billion to create these high-speed trains. It may headbutt with the airplane system. It could cause problems between each other, but on the other hand, the airfare might be lower because of the transportation system, because if they compete with each other, they want to compete with prices too, so the airfare will be lower, just like in Europe how they have Ryanair. May be put in effect, yes. Currently, Obama is actually wanting, in the State of the Union address, he actually mentioned about how he wanted this to be conducted in 2025, so about 13 years from now. He wants within like 25 years, I said, 80% of Americans using the high-speed trains. As you can see, the benefits of having both trains in the United States are endless. We could escape the unnecessary handle of airplane and the train system to be able to travel the U.S. without the unnecessary use of cars or planes. Hopefully we'll allow the trains system to be used in the United States within these recent years. As the world advances, so does the human mind. Hopefully soon we'll be able to adopt this system so we can actually progress in